Hello everyone, I am Chandler, and I feel privileged to share the experience between the Tencent Games and StarRocks. In this session, while you may not receive extensive technical information, however, I'm confident that you will understand the challenges we face and the reason why we choose StarRocks. This is an overview. First, I will introduce the Tencent Games overview briefly. Then I will discuss the challenges we encounter in 2020 and explain why we opt for StarRocks as our tool. Finally, I will describe how we construct the data pipeline using the StarRocks and present some user case highlighting its features. First of all, we introduced the Tencent Games overseas, and this timeline chart displays the numerous games that we have published, including the successful title like PUBG, Nikki, Honor of the Kings. However, the primary emphasis here is on the level infinity, established at end of the 2021, which comprise a significant portion of overseas studio games encompassing mobile, PC, and console games. If you are a gaming lover, it is highly recommended to check out this website. Um, I will discuss the difficulties we encounter in 2020. By that time, we had a mature approach for the batch data processing, but our real-time processing wasn't very stable. As a result, we are looking for real-time analytics tools that assist us with our OLAP needs. First of all, every project we may leverage more than 10 different data sources and tables, so the tools must support various data format and ingestion mode. Secondly, the game data is huge. Almost every single behavior in a game will be recorded. We are facing 2 million records for 2 billion records for a table daily. Thirdly, according to the monitor, um, usually one table is around 40 megabytes, 40 megabytes throughput per table, um, from the source ingest into the database. Fourthly, we keep publishing the new games, as you may notice on the timeline chart. Last but not least, we need to update the table every minute, and at the same time, we have thousands queries per second on the table. In addition to the difficulties, we must also satisfy the business needs as ensuring everything on the cloud, creating the tools that user-friendly at all levels. Additionally, due to the nature of the gaming industry, round-the-clock support is somewhat necessary. We actually perform the internal comparison of the tools like a Druid, Impala, and Presto. Although they have some benefits, I will focus on their drawback in this listing as the reason for not selecting them. For example, Druid lacks support for SQL-like queries, which prevent our business team from accessing the tool. And for Impala, meeting the transactional requirement with Impala is challenging, and it does not have the capability to support complex data types and functions. During that period, adequate support for maintaining Presto clusters was unavailable, and to achieve optimal performance, considerable expertise and a strong resource for support was necessary. Then the StarRocks came into our view. For StarRocks, number one, they do support all types of analytics and requirements, including analytics and transactional. Number two, StarRocks is Hadoop compatible, which means it's good for most of the big data systems, as well as it provide rich ingestion choice. Number three, StarRocks can fully implement on the cloud. And if you don't have enough DevOps resource, you can purchase StarRocks from the cloud market on the Tencent Cloud, Ali Cloud, and AWS. Number four, StarRocks has no learning curve as long as you are familiar with SQL. All SQL functions works means you probably can migrate your queries without any change. Number five, StarRocks has support and helpful documentations which you can find on their official website, and the discussion in their community are quite interesting also. So we actually choose the StarRocks to revamp our analytics systems, particularly in the real-time analytics. This blueprint depict here is standout one that has been previously shared by StarRocks and can be found on their website. And we are also implementing it. The only discrepancy is the size of the data and the number of the users involved. So I'm going to share a user case to bring more details. As a start of this presentation, we actually want to build a real-time analytics to replace the old and the unstable one. So I will use this user case as a reference to demonstrate the good features of the StarRocks. For real-time process, we actually process millions of records per minute, and mentioned before, we have 1,000 queries per second at the same table. Sometimes we need to tolerate the rerun. It might be because the from system down and the ingestion might not be exact ones. So we need to avoid the duplications. We also take security and effort of the maintenance in consideration. Some good features in StarRocks I have to mention for this user case. The primary and unique key, dynamic partitions, resource isolations, and MPP architecture. Recently, StarRocks published a lot of videos and documentations about the MPP architecture. I think those are very helpful. I will not touch the details about it. I will talk about the first three features. For the primary and the unique key, which help us to rerun the job easily and also avoid abnormals. For example, in this case, we want to update the type equal to 0. In other database, normally we need to delete the record first and insert a new one. However, in StarRocks, with a primary and a unique key, you don't need to delete. Just insert in good enough to overwrite. For the dynamic partitions, which help us to implement the table easily, this is a typical settings we have when creating the table. As you can see, the partition are generate automatically without adding queries, and also the table will automatically do the housekeep in the designated time zone. This feature definitely reduce the process and the cost of the resource. For resource isolation, I believe this feature is helpful for the DevOps team to control the resource and avoid a dispute between the teams. Also, it helps organization to do the budget provisioning. We do have multiple user cases that utilize the StarRocks, including the global games performance, in-game analysis, intelligence and opinion analytics, and also the user profiling. For more information, you may reach out the team offline. Additionally, all the screenshots are from the Tencent data products data brand. If you are interested in this product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.